Welcome back to Local Garden Queens. It's June 10th. Summer temperatures are every day now, upper 70s into the 80s, and the summer plants are flourishing, and there's also some harvesting going on. Let me start the tour showing you the comfrey plant. It is done flowering. I might chop and drop it, and maybe the new shoots will spring up some flowers later in the season. This bed here is full of carrots, and most of the radishes were pulled out, except for a few that went to flower. You can see with these nice little white flowers. I'm gonna let them go to seed, and I will collect them and replant towards the end of the summer. Here we have some bok choy that was left, also went to seed and now has seed pods, which I will collect as well and plant later at the end of the season, summer season. And some cilantro that I've been picking. I didn't pick the whole cilantro plant. What I did was just snip off some leaves off each plant little by little. This one survived and is flowering. Also among the cilantro is some dill. You see here, I have yet to harvest it, but I will be shortly. Just got to find a recipe for it. In this bed I have some peppers. They're still very small. Here's one. And let me show you another pepper plant. There's one here. So again, they take a while to get going, but once they do, they should produce pretty well. Here's another plant here. I'm just hoping our summer season is going to be long enough for them to produce anything. In the back bed that needs to be weeded, I left some plants to go to seeds mainly. The white flowers here, you see, are the radishes. And we have bok choy here, the pods also. And some cilantro. Going to be going to seed soon. So in the middle here are the carrots. I have not picked any. I didn't like the way the root looked. It didn't look big enough. So I just left it to seed, or I just left it there and it's going to flower, which will seed soon. So here's the seed head, and there are more than one. It's going to be nice for pollinators, so I'm going to leave it alone. Next to the carrots are some sugar snap peas that I replanted here, and these have come up and are growing. And the dill, which is red in color, obviously there's a nutrient deficiency of some sort. I don't think there's too much water there. And in the back is a cucumber plant. Since the last update, my garden expanded. My neighbor took out her rose bush and another plant, and all this area opened up. A couple of days ago, I was passing by and I saw a large tree being cut down, so I took some logs and I made more bed outlines with the logs. So of course I couldn't help myself. I didn't know if I was going to plant anything here, but again, got to plant something. You have free space. It wasn't too late in the season, so I planted some yellow zucchini here. Threw down some chicken wire so the squirrels don't dig it up, and put down some bamboo poles to hold the chicken wire down, and I think it deters animals as well. Then of course I couldn't help myself again, and I had some cantaloupe seeds which I planted, and surprisingly most of them sprung up. You can see here a whole bunch of cantaloupe seeds. I don't know what's going to happen with that, as I don't have a lot of room for the cantaloupe to run, and there's a lot of little seedlings there. But we'll see what happens. I'll just let it go, and if there's not enough room, obviously I can always cut it out. So going to this next bed here, we have mint growing. I have to keep that under control. I can't let it get into the beds. Here's another log. Here's another log that I got. I haven't buried it yet. So this bed has jalapeno giant plants. One of them died. So I think what happened was it was too top heavy, and when I water it or when it rained, the plant toppled over and the stem bent, and there was no coming back from that for the plant. I tried to support it, but I think it was too late. The other plants, the other 4 plants that I have, seem to be doing okay. I have one here, here, and this one is looking the best. These 2 in the back are zucchini plants. Again, I described it in my last video, but the plan is I'm going to try to make them, I'm going to direct them to grow towards the back, and I'm going to try to trellis them up in front of the sugar snap peas, which I think will be done by the time the zucchinis are big enough. Sorry for the plane as I talk about the sugar snap peas. So they're pretty much ready for harvest. There's plenty of them. I've picked a few here and there, but today I might be picking a lot. Also, I planted some cucumber down here. So the plan for the cucumber is, hopefully it gets big enough. I'll have it run up and over on a trellis here, and that cucumber is also going to run up and over on a trellis here. That's the plan anyway. The oregano is going to seed here. I've been picking it, but there's a good amount that I just don't need or have no use for, and I just let it go to seed. The fennel also is going to be going to seed soon, if it hasn't already. And of course, last but not least, the currant bush. It looks like a good production this year. The currants are beginning to change color, and there's plenty of them. It's covered in currants. And let me tell you about the garden space. So there were very large bushes here that were removed. So I like to take advantage of this area. I put down some logs here as well as an outline. I'm planning to maybe transplant this currant bush over in this space, because in this area I might plant a gooseberry and 2 other currant bushes. Currently the currant bush that I have is black currant, and I'm probably going to plant a red currant and a white currant. So the reason I'm choosing currants is because this area here does not get a lot of sun. It's very shaded, and I know currants and gooseberries, from what I understand, they do well in partial shade. So that's the plan for this new garden area for next season. And for this season and for this tour, this is the garden so far. The sugar snaps in this area, which will be picked soon. Of course, the zucchini, the peppers, the yellow squash. Who knows what's going to happen to the cantaloupe plants. More sugar snaps, carrot, flowers, herbs, more carrots, peppers. Everything's doing good so far. The enclosures are working great. I'm very happy with them. I don't have to worry about critters going in there and digging things up. Just have to worry about good soil, enough water, and sunlight. So that's the garden for today. As always, like, share, subscribe, leave comments, and I'll see you guys in the next update.